Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the Bitcoin price right now, as today was a pretty important day with a new monthly candle. Let's dive straight into the chart, Snipers, because so far we know Bitcoin has held the 2018 previous all-time high for all of its monthly candles, including June, when we dumped down to 17,600. And so right now, Bitcoin has maintained itself above the 2018 previous all-time high, signifying that for the last 3 months, it is now holding as a major macro support level, with our monthly candle bodies staying above 19,798. Now, our weekly candle last week was quite brutal, very indicative of some further downside this week. And so what we really need to monitor right now, as long as S&P 500 does not form further lows, we are expecting Bitcoin to potentially come down to 17,200 to maybe form a lower low or a higher low. If it doesn't breach below 17,600, maybe test 18,000. And then we can potentially have a double bottom in place for Bitcoin. We know when Bitcoin topped out, it was a double top. And so a double bottom wouldn't really be a surprise. And so that's what we're monitoring right now for Bitcoin. And the reason we're putting this on the table so far is because the S&P 500 is still testing its 20-week moving average. You can see this weekly candle is holding on to the 20-week moving average. And until we are free falling away from the 20-week moving average for the equity markets, we don't want to make any assumptions just yet. And so far, we are fully below 4,000 for the E-mini futures contract. That's what we're watching for the S&P 500. Yesterday, our daily candle high was over 4,000. And so this is something that's progressing in the immediate short term. We want to continue to monitor the S&P 500 because what we'd preferably like to see is some support, the 20-week moving average, and then that would strengthen the bullish case for Bitcoin. But if we really start to fall below the midpoint of this channel here for the S&P 500, now we can potentially start talking about maybe a more severe downside scenario for Bitcoin, depending on where Bitcoin is at when that happens. But so far, we can be confident in the fact that we know 17,204 is a major support level, and Bitcoin isn't really showing too many crazy bearish signs on the macro with the monthly close above the 2018 previous all-time high, meaning that this is still a major support level here at 19,800. It's not a coincidence, Snipers, that we haven't had any full 4-hour candle confirmations below this level. That's why we always put the exact number on our chart, and then we have our rule for the hourly and 4-hour candle confirmations in order to confirm whether a major support level or a resistance level has been broken. And so let's talk about the DXY. It did form some new yearly highs recently, but the equity markets didn't form new yearly lows, indicating some strength for the equity markets, with DXY still making the decision on whether or not it wants to have a double top here, or if it wants to have a continuation of the upside. I don't think we can make the strong case that it's ready for a continuation of the upside. It is certainly still in a macro bullish trend. The trend is your friend until she dumps you. But we'll have to continue to monitor the DXY because I know a lot of indicators are indicating some bearish divergence. It's already broke multi-decade highs. And so we'll continue to monitor the DXY and have some sort of a slight bullish and bearish opinion about it so that we can stay neutral. And let's talk about Ethereum really quick, because I know the merge is coming up here on September 15th. And so far, Ethereum is sitting between its previous weekly open at 1618. That's the major resistance, and holding the 2018 previous all-time high at 1440 as our major support level. And then Ethereum to Bitcoin staying above 65,000 Satoshis. We'll continue to monitor whether or not this here is a potential bull flag forming here for Ethereum, because if the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart starts showing strength, that's the early indicator that maybe Ethereum wants to come even further above 2,000 US dollars. But if we break 1440, it does open up the door to 909 US dollars or somewhere around that area. And I would say that from 909 to 780 US dollars for Ethereum is the equivalent of Bitcoin coming back down to test its lows. So expect Ethereum to get maybe below $1,000 if Bitcoin does have that scenario of a lower low forming. We'll continue to monitor Bitcoin. We know that we are below this channel here, and it looks like a potential bear flag. And so that's why we have to keep the bear scenario on the table right now. For any upside, we'll talk about that if Bitcoin can reconquer its previous weekly open here at 21,500, showing confluence with this market structural resistance level. So yeah, Snipers, I mean, I would say this for Bitcoin right now specifically. I think that we're at a crossroads. equity markets are trying to see whether or not they want to hold these gains that they've recently seen. With S&P 500 reclaiming its 20-week moving average, it's giving Bitcoin the green light to maybe also retest its 20-week moving average, which sits a lot higher than 25,000 US dollars and some of the prices that we've recently seen. So Bitcoin indicating some weakness against equity markets, further strengthening the risk-off environment that we're currently in. But the markets are dynamic and they could change at any point. And so that's why we have to continue to monitor the situation with the DXY forming new yearly highs, but the equity markets not forming new yearly lows. Is that a sign that maybe that bearish rally that we've recently seen in the equity markets and cryptocurrency markets maybe went a little bit too far for the immediate short term? I think all of these things are on the table. That's why it's always good to be dollar cost averaging positions. And then some other revolving parts that we'll continue to monitor, obviously the NASDAQ, the Euro to USD pairing, Bitcoin against the SPY, still not much going on there. I'll talk about Japan. You can see it's already down about 1.18%. So that could be an early indicator that we'll probably see equity markets open up in the red. But remember, snipers, we've been waiting for the equity markets to cool down. They've seen a strong rally to the upside over the last few weeks. And, you know, that's exactly what we're seeing right now with S&P 500 hitting its major bear market resistance level. I know MicroStrategy had some crazy news with Michael Saylor getting sued for taxes. So it's down 3%. But I would say all other revolving parts are quite calm right now, snipers. The main point to realize is we have this new monthly candle that just opened up that could indicate some volatility here over the next 24 to 48 hours. I would say the S&P 500 had an extremely ugly monthly candle close, very bearish. That's an interesting thing to monitor here, which is why I think the S&P 500 is the most important puzzle piece right now to monitor, testing its 20-week moving average. An extremely bearish monthly candle close for the S&P 500, so that's not good. Let's see how the DXY closed its monthly candle. Pretty much indecision candle above a major resistance. I would say that's quite bullish. So that's just what the candles are telling me. We know with Bitcoin, the main thing here is that we held above the 2018 previous all-time high for the monthly candle. So that was good to see. Let's see if Ethereum looks a little bit different than Bitcoin. Pretty heavy wick there, but candle pretty high above the 2018 previous all-time high. So I like seeing that. So yeah, I think that we're at a crossroads, as I said, snipers. I'll keep you guys updated. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you tuned into the channel. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content, and I will see you all next time. Snipers out.